Morning!
Madnin!
Welcome to the India Explained podcast, recorded in London and San Francisco. One take, unscripted, no rehearsal.
Hey Bunty, greetings from San Francisco again. We tried a couple of video episodes today. Let's see how those go for our listeners now / viewers. But we're doing one in our sort of regular style. What do you want to talk about today? Cricket?
Yeah, listen, I want to talk about cricket for two reasons. One is this summer I've bought some cricket equipment because I got very enthused by the IPL. I know different people knock it for different reasons. It's a really good commercial. From a sporting point of view, it's the cricketing world's envy because it's a very prosperous and powerful cricketing tournament in the world. But the reason I got inspired and said that, I need to start playing again, probably after a gap of about 20 odd years, is because I saw Chennai Super Kings led by Mahendra Singh Dhoni win a match. The reason I was really impressed by this, two things. One was it had the story. The story was Chennai Super Kings as a team was a really good team. There's a joke that goes IPL is a tournament where 8 teams compete to meet Chennai Super Kings in the final, right? And by the way, I'm not a Chennai Super King follower. I'm a Kolkata Knight Riders or a Mumbai Indian kind of guy. What happened was these guys got caught up in some corruption scandal, which was not their fault, right? In match fixing, which was the previous sponsor, India Cements, a really dodgy guy. He and his son-in-law took the team down, and they were suspended for 2 years, right? 2 years later, they come back for the first season. So the franchise got disbanded. All the players went off to play different other part-time franchises that had been created. They come back this year, and they were described as a bunch of kind of dad's army. Like most of them are in their mid-30s, pushing a late number. And Dhoni kind of galvanized this team to win a tournament. And I was impressed because of two reasons. First, that, it's almost like this rise from the dead and a glorious rise from the dead for this franchise, which is a good thing, which makes for a good story. And the other thing is at a separate level because Dhoni is no longer the captain of India, but his leadership skills that shone through and the way his kind of distribution of emotion, how he reacts to very emotional fraught situations was very impressive watching. That's the reason I wanted to kind of flag. And plus the fact that IPL is a big thing. I want to say that, we can't let this season go without us at least taking a go at having a chat about it. And I know you're not into IPL, but the things I'm looking for here is this reinvention of a fallen hero, as in the franchise, and the captaincy of somebody like Dhoni.
Yeah. Well, this is all very interesting, and I think I should, give it a fair shake. I mean, I've had like a complicated relationship with cricket. Like when I first moved to America almost 20 years ago, I used to, stay up at night. This is low bandwidth era, following cricket chat on Rediff, and my former colleague at Rediff, Prem Panikkar, kind of, he sort of created cricket chat in India at least. And I remember that in some ways, the reaction that a lot of people have towards the IPL is the same reaction that people had towards the one-day format of the game when it was first launched, right? That there were people who, the purists didn't like it. They said it wouldn't last. So in some ways, the way the IPL is judged is the same. And, I think my critique has also been, or my reluctance to get into it has also been associated with, my sense of that the spectacle overtakes the game and so on. But I know it's pretty compelling. I've not followed Dhoni's career very closely or anything because, as I said, I've been inconsistent in the way I've been a cricket fan. But he's the Iceman, right? And like when he comes in, that cool head. And also there's something about him I like very much, which is that he, retired at the right time. He's self-effacing. I think we have really moved finally towards an era where, our cricketers are they are, in some ways, they're doing the best of what the Australians and others have done. And there's a lot that's wrong with the Australian cricket team. And I just have, there's much about them I've disliked. But I think they have really been, more team-oriented than individual-oriented. And I think Ganguly was, I think it was Harsha Bhogle who said, or maybe Ramchandra Guha who said that in India there are, till the point of time Ganguly was captain, I think Dhoni wasn't playing there. He said there have only been 2 selfless captains. One was Pataudi and the other was Ganguly. So, that's a long gap in between. And then after Ganguly, I think there was a culture shift. And then from Dhoni's time onward, we've really seen, people play in a selfless way. Now, Virat Kohli with his ego and, the fact that he apparently got Kumble out and, he got Ravi Shastri in as the coach, who apparently is just a yes man. I don't know. That's what people say. It remains to be seen if he, he's going to ultimately still stay as a team man or let a personal thirst for a coach overtake him. But yeah, I completely concur with you. And yes, I mean, again, from a sociological point of view, this relationship of, big money cricket, advertising, spectacle is very fascinating.
Well, look, I think we just wanted to do a brief nod towards the IPL season. It's come to a glorious end. It was the 11th season. I remember I was in India for the first season and watched quite a lot of the matches. So I think, Chennai are back. Chennai are back after 2 years. They have still got the same core set. The question then is going to be, once these kind of band of 4 or 5 core players who Chennai galvanized around pass on or move on to other franchises, can the club retain its kind of magic? And I think is it the question that I'd like to end this on is it conceivable for Mahendra Singh Dhoni to lead any other franchise, or is he kind of embossed? His fortunes are embossed with this Chennai Super King franchise. But no, congratulations to Chennai. And a great spectacle. That's all I wanted to call out in this story.
Okay. Let me just drag this out for a minute more, if you don't mind. I remember this guy, when the IPL started several years ago, there was a guy, he's a cricket commentator, Boria Majumdar. And there was a funny clip of him. What had happened is there was this clip, I think he was some commentator for Z or some other channel. There were these cheerleaders who had been imported from, various countries, America, Eastern Europe, etc. And there was a scene of these cops. I don't know. They sort of, hulking jarred dudes, grinning away and leering at them. And this guy was saying that cricket and sexuality have always gone together. Now, that's a bizarre claim in itself. But, are the cheerleaders still around? And I don't know.
No. So the cheerleaders are around, and depending on the franchise's aesthetics. So Chennai's got cheerleaders who dress in gym pants and do calisthenics, whereas Kings 11 Punjab and KKR and Mumbai Indians have got Ukrainian people, ladies in short skirts, doing playing out with pom-poms. So different people have interpreted cheerleading differently.
Well, it's an American practice, and I think maybe it's time for, I don't know, maybe sari and salwar kurta cheerleading,
that happened. Sari and salwar kurta cheerleading happened at one stage, but it probably didn't get as much kudos from the fans.
Yeah.
There are some of the kind of more conservative teams have stepped away from having
fair enough.
And Chennai is a case in point. Their cheerleaders are kind of completely very conservatively dressed, and they do, rather than dancing, they do kind of PE, physical training exercises.
Is there a Kashmir
But
team?
that works for them. Works for them.
Is there any some Srinagar smashers or anything? There's no Srinagar team, no?
No, there is no Srinagar team. There is, it's basically, so all the big cities, so Delhi, Calcutta, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore have 5 of the long-running franchises. Kings 11 Punjab is the other one. And then there is Hyderabad, Deccan Chargers Hyderabad. And then they've got this franchise called Rajasthan Royals.
No, I'm just wondering in terms of, does the cheerleading reflect the dominant sort of, cultural, practice?
No.
I didn't know if, Punjab 11 has, Bhangra. So I was wondering if there was, Kashmir, would there be cheerleaders in burqas or...
No. No, you raise a very valid point that, is there a correlation between cheerleading and the cultural backdrop? I think there was some attempt to kind of make it very cultural, but people realized that, don't try and fold too many angles into it. It is a slam bang cricket tournament, and what people come to do is consume an experience, and part of that experience, whether we like it or not, is Ukrainian women dancing in on the sidelines to regale people. I know there are broader points here, which I don't want to get into, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, as Modi ji would say, हमारा यूक्रेन और ईस्टर्न यूरोप के संग बड़ा खास रिश्ता है. So this is maybe one part of it. Chalo, I think we've kind of exhausted this topic because I'm pretty ignorant about it. But I think we'll wrap up today and we'll be back next week with a few more episodes. All right, man.
ठीक है. चलो, take care. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to us. Rohit and Bunty would like to sign off. Please stay tuned. Follow us on India Explained on Twitter. Keep listening. Thank you for all your support.